Griffin. Hello, everyone. This is Bill Griffin. Welcome to Different Take Podcast. If you like this content, please subscribe, like, share, comment. I really appreciate you watching. New episodes Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today, I want to talk about something, an election that's coming up in where I live in Gwinnett County, Georgia. If you don't live in Georgia or Gwinnett County, I think you'll still find this very interesting because this issues affect everyone. There are two candidates running for office, and I want to talk about two issues that are pretty major, I think, and we'll show a comparison between the two candidates. The Republican candidate, his name is John Sabic. You can learn more about him at johnforgwinnett.com. Gwinnett spelled with two N's and two T's, and it's spelled out for John, F-O-R, Gwinnett.com. And I did an interview with Mr. Sabic, and you can find that on the channel. And the second candidate is the Democrat. His name is Ben Koo. I have requested to interview Mr. Koo. Not even responded. We've made multiple requests via phone, email, just like the courtesy of one way or the other. You want to talk to your constituents or you don't. So I'm going to go over a couple of issues. Even though Mr. Koo didn't interview, it's obvious what his positions are in these interviews, and I want to talk about them. The first issue is estimate on population growth. So you can see on this chart, 2017 population, Gwinnett County is 920,000. So Gwinnett County commissioned a company, Pond and Company, to come up with a plan, what they call the Unified 2040 plan. So you can find that. It's very lengthy. And I pulled this chart out of the plan. You see in 2017, population is 920,000. And there's an estimate that it'll grow. The population growth will be at least 1.29 million, and then they have the top line growth estimate being 1.56 million. So in 23 years, the population is going to could grow from 920,000 to 1.56 million people. That is really something. And this is what Mr. Sabic said in an interview with me on this subject. It seems to me that residents that are here move here or remain here because they like the way it is. So what's driving this big change? What's behind that?
I think when the Gwinnett County make the goals and they say, hey, we want to bring 500,000 people in the Gwinnett County, right? So they make some vision. I have no idea why. Why would anyone say I want 500 more residents in the Gwinnett County? I don't know what for. What is it for? Who is it benefiting? I mean, it's not going to benefit current residents here. You know, I understand people want to move here, but if you build, they will. You know, if you build the apartment, they will move here, obviously. But it doesn't work for us. It doesn't work for families who. So mainly. People that move in Gwinnett County with families, they move because it's nice. We have nice parks. We have nice, we still traffic even is bad, but it's not as bad as if you move to Atlanta or DeKalb County. So I go around 2 hours pretty much a day. I go in the neighborhoods. I talk to people. I stop, go with my truck, stop. I put some door hangers around. I talk mainly anyone I see on the street, cutting the grass, walking. I talk to people. I talk to Democrats. I talk to Republicans. Common things between Republicans and Democrats: high density development. Nobody likes it. I don't know why they're building it. Nobody likes it. I mean, I still have to find someone who is pro apartment complexes.
So contrast or compare that with Ben Koo, who voted for this plan in February 2020. It was a unanimous vote. Ben Koo was one of the commissioners, had just gotten elected, had just gotten sworn in just a few weeks before. but felt confident in voting for this. He was also an advocate for MARTA expansion. As I said, Mr. Koo did not interview with me, and it's an indication that he's pretty dismissive of his constituents because, interestingly, if you do a search for Ben Koo under videos, maybe some video footage of him actually talking with constituents, I couldn't find anything. But he's doing a commercial for MARTA, which appears prior to him being sworn in to office. The interesting thing, he was advocating for the expansion of MARTA. Mr. Koo was in, if you don't know what MARTA is, it's a corrupt, the Atlanta metro area transit authority. So Mr. Koo's advocating for the expansion of MARTA. That was voted down on March 19th, 2019, a special election. This was the only thing on the ballot. Yes, 45.68%, no, 54.32%, 91,000, almost 92,000 people voted. Voted down. So what does the commission and Mr. Koo do? That's not good enough for them. They have to put it on the general election ballot again in November 2020. And here's the headline. Gwinnett has once again rejected a transit tax in narrow defeat of referendum. So Mr. Koo and the other commissioners who are advocating for the expansion of MARTA into Gwinnett County and also are fully in favor of 500,000 more residents moving to a county that has about 1 million residents, put MARTA on the ballot knowing that it's not going to pass. If it passes, it's going to be a very narrow vote. So they know this went down, but they want to put it on there again because that's what they want. I don't understand why they want it. I agree with Mr. Sabic. Who does this benefit? And the people made it, they voted the thing down. Since I have moved into Gwinnett County, I have seen many massive high-density apartment complexes being built and have been built. And as Mr. Sabic says, who does this benefit? Well, it certainly benefits the developers, maybe the Chamber of Commerce, maybe big businesses. And it's not anti-capitalist to say, whoa, you have to take care of the residents that live here. They're living here for a reason, and you want to move 500,000 more people in, grow the population 50%. So that means more crime. That means more traffic, and it typically means worse schools and a less family-friendly place to live. The second issue I want to talk about is the government's responsibility in the county. The way the COVID shutdowns occurred in our county is the county initiated the shutdowns. Mr. Koo has never made a claim that was a bad idea. There is no indication that he's anything but in full support of COVID shutdowns. In fact, I was involved in the production of a documentary film called Pros and Cons, the true story of COVID-19, which will be posted on this channel pretty soon. And I requested an interview with Mr. Koo, along with the other commissioners. None of them accepted the invitation. Mr. Koo, in fact, gave me the runaround on it, kind of jerked me around for a few weeks with emails, just trying to avoid saying he didn't want to interview. Apparently he didn't, because he didn't. But there's no indication that he's anything but in full support of COVID shutdowns. This is, and cannot explain what the benefit is. Remember at the time, the media is reporting the death count and the case count. And that's all you're hearing is death count, case count. Well, now that it's all over, are you hearing, well, how many lives were saved or how many people died due to shutdowns? Did the benefit outweigh the cost? Well, that's the purpose of the documentary. Mr. Koo didn't want to have any part of it. This is what Mr. Sabic has to say regarding COVID shutdowns in 2 clips that'll run back to back.
Still live in Georgia. We still live in free state, and that is my point. We should be free as much as possible. 2 weeks was appropriate probably to close to see where we stand. Like I'm like that with everything. Is there shock to everything or to the economy or anything? Calm down for a situation, see where we stand, and then you can take. I'm not pro closing businesses, first of all. Like leave the businesses open if they want to be open. That's my take on it. If you want to go into that business and buy something, feel free to go or get the services, whatever you want to do. If you don't want to go, you just don't go. And that's a basic. To me, it's just a basic principle of, everything. Now, if I close that business, how am I going to get the money? How am I going to get the money to pay their power bills? So you have to get money from somewhere. You can't just close business without giving them the tools to survive for the whatever that is. Is it month? Is it 2 months? Is it 3 months?
I think Mr. Sabic's position is much more reasonable. In fact, I think that's the majority of the population thinks his position is reasonable. One of the issues is the media it's dominated by far left on the political spectrum. The Democrat Party is dominated by far left. I don't know if Mr. Koo considers himself far left because he obviously doesn't talk to people enough for anybody to know, but his actions probably indicate that. Another thing I'd like to mention is that the MARTA expansion was done during a time which the federal government is going to spend gobs and gobs of money, and you see what's happening today because of it. It's very predictable that the U.S. could be in a deep recession. But they still push this referendum to expand MARTA with the tremendous upheaval that's going to occur in the economy. It has to be. Knowing that, they still put MARTA on the ballot. Another thing I'd point out is Democrats have shown, and Republicans do, just a complete abdication of their fiduciary duties. Treat other people's money as you treat your own money. But politicians don't do that. This plan where you have this unlimited growth. See, I believe that some of these commissioners, and they're all Democrats on the Gwinnett County Commission, they don't care how much population comes in. They're fine with doubling the population. So I think you have a better chance with Republicans, and John Sabic seems like a person who would take his fiduciary responsibility seriously. He would be a good steward, believes in lower taxes and less spending, which I think that's a better chance of that happening. So if you want status quo, this continued population growth, more crime, potential for homelessness, and more traffic, and maybe an expansion of MARTA, because they'll surely put it on the ballot again. It'll pass. It might pass this time by 52-48. They don't care if it's 51 or 75. It makes no difference, it seems. Vote for Ben Koo, but I think the more reasonable choice by far is Mr. Sabic. I don't think it's really close. So that's my episode for today. Before I end, I would like to say, Mr. Koo, if you're interested in interviewing, I'm happy to do that. I'd love to talk to you. I talk Democrats, Republicans alike, and I treat them all with respect. And I would do the same with you as well. That's my episode today. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe, like, share, comment if you like the content you're seeing. And I really appreciate the support. Thank you.